Hello friends, today I shall be discussing the analysis of the poem Strange Meeting written by Wilfred Owen. This poem has been prescribed in Rhapsody, a collection of ISC poems. The poem Strange Meeting. A soldier in the First World War, Owen, has written this poem, and after some time during 1980, while serving on the Western Front, Owen had been killed in the battle. The poem speaker, who is a soldier, has descended to hell, and there he meets a soldier from the opposing army who reveals at the end of the poem that the speaker was the one who had killed him. The poem is deeply pessimistic as it reflects on the shared humanity of these two characters, these two men, and of course it discusses the broader horrors of war. Though the poem suggests that human beings aren't going to stop fighting anytime soon, it also calls for such violence to be replaced by reconciliation and solidarity. So it seems that the poem is an anti-war poem without having any kind of bloodshed or anything of that sort. The poem can be called an anti-war poem. The setting of the poem is both vivid and surreal, evoking an eerie and otherworldly atmosphere. The poem begins with the speaker describing his escape from the battlefield and descending, as I said before, into this hell. Profound, dull tunnel. This tunnel is an allegorical representation of the speaker's journey away from the reality of war into a supernatural realm. The tunnel itself is carved from granite rocks, and it suggests that it has been formed over a very long period by numerous conflicts. So the poem, though the poem is about war, it does not focus on heroic deeds or grand victories. Instead, the poem treats war as a horrifying, wasteful, and dehumanizing. In the words of the enemy soldier, it presents the pity of war distilled. According to the poem, the war destroys the landscape in which it is fought. It erodes the natural solidarity between human beings, turning people who might be friends into mortal enemies. And it robs the soldiers who fight to the capacity, to speak truth to power, to resist the wars in which they give their lives. What's more, the trauma of war lingers even after the battle is over. So, as the poem is set in a dark tunnel in which the person who's narrating the poem, he finds himself in this dark tunnel. The speaker describes war as fundamentally a destructive force. Indeed, there are many titanic wars that have been fought, and these titanic wars have cut the tunnel in which the speaker finds himself in. The tunnel is protected from the battle above, but it leaves a mark on the soldiers stuck below. The enemy soldier's face is grained with 1,000 fears. And in his long speech, the enemy soldier picks up on this theme. Instead of granting him dignity and immortality through heroic deeds, war basically has robbed him of his hope and life. The enemy soldier's key hope is that he would be able to tell people about the horrors of war and thus prevent future wars. So, though the enemy soldier has been killed in the battle, the poem takes up this message, offering it to the reader, and in this way the poem critiques war on the enemy soldier's behalf, asking the reader to turn away from violence towards reconciliation and solidarity. Now, reconciliation and solidarity is one of the themes of the poem. The poem, though, presents quite a bleak picture of human society, yet the poem also presents violence as a choice of an individual. The two soldiers at the heart of the poem might very well have been friends in different circumstances. They even share the same hopes and dreams. As the poet says, whatever hope is yours was my life also, as the enemy soldier proclaims. By illustrating their shared humanity, the poem suggests that war creates a division when none need to exist. And what's more, the fact that even the enemy soldier forgives the speaker in death and says that they both can rest now and finally achieving some sort of peace, suggesting reconciliation and solidarity might be a sort of antidote to the horrors of war. The poem stages betrayal in its final lines, where the enemy soldier reveals who killed him. And the speaker himself, the enemy soldier, announces, "I am the enemy, you killed my friend." So with this, we end today's video. And if you want to, thank you for watching, first of all. And if you want to do the poem with me, continue watching my following videos. Thank you once again.